party, baby. It's like we're staring at the sun. Everybody's got the invitations, hoping that you're gonna come, yeah. These are the times. These are the crimes.
Hey, welcome back. Episode number 4, Boomer to Boomer, Life, Fitness, and Fun. Glad you could join me. We're going to start off life section today, talking about something that I can certainly relate to. Maybe quite a few of you can too, especially you boomers. If you watched episode 1, you got to learn about me, my cancer history, 3-time puncher now, got it. There was an interesting articles that I've read recently, and one of them strikes right to the heart of what I'm doing here, and that is exercise and cancer. No, exercise doesn't give you cancer. However, I personally found, my doctor told me, my oncologist told me, that my being in good shape helped me not only endure all the cancer treatment that I went through, but it also helped me recover from it. Now, before I expand too far on that, I wanted to reach out on this one here. I read a recent article about colon cancer and exercise. Now, this study was published from multiple trials by the journal Cancer, which is, of course, a periodical of some repute. And in their study, they basically came down to, the upshot was, first off, colon cancer is one of the leading causes of cancer conditions, and that it is also growing. It's getting more numerous, and it's actually hitting people younger and younger. My last time into a treatment room, I remember talking to a couple of young gentlemen there. One of them was 23 and the other one was 24. And they're in there fighting cancer at that age. Some things to me nature just isn't right. But anyway, the study they did with the colon cancer survivors is they found out that regular exercise helped colon cancer survivors live longer than those survivors who did not exercise. And actually, in some cases, some of the people who had survived colon cancer and exercised lived longer than people who never had colon cancer and did not exercise. So the upshot on the studies was that it does have a meaningful impact on how long cancer survivors live after they get through their treatment. Myself, I'm 15, pushing 16 years in remission now after I had my autologous stem cell transplant. Again, if you're jumping in on this, go back to episode 1, you'll find out all about me there. The National Cancer Institute has published a very detailed study on exercise and cancer outcomes. And now I'm including links to both of these articles that I've talked to you about in the description of this video. So if you want more information, more detailed information, go there. And believe, especially the one from the National Cancer Institute. Very, very interesting numbers. But the upshot is exercising, staying healthy and staying fit post-cancer can have a big impact on your quality of life. I certainly can attest to that. Now, while I was taking my cancer treatments in 2010 was when I had it really bad. I spent half of that year in the hospital taking chemotherapy drips 24 hours a day. I'd be in there for about 6 days, and then I'd go home and the doc would let me rest up and clean out for a week or two and then back at it again. One of the things that kept me going was something that I have been involved in for many, many years. I've been a Civil War reenactor. I'm retired now for the most part, but I was a Civil War reenactor for many, many years. And one of the things that I did for almost a decade is I played a leading role in a Wild West show. It was an outdoor reenactment of a big historical battle, and I went out to Montana every summer. Well, when May came along, I told my oncologist, "Doctor, I really want to do this. This is one of the things that keeps me going. It gives me a reason to stick around for tomorrow because I love doing what I'm doing. He wasn't too thrilled with it, but he understood and he helped me transition. Essentially what I did is I stopped treatment in mid-May. Now my event was at the end of June. So I stopped my chemotherapy treatments in the middle of them. I went home and for a week or two I just wore off the effects of the chemo, and then I started going out to the back of my pickup truck, grabbed the gate and I put my left foot up on the bumper and tried to lift myself up on that left leg, getting my foot into the stirrup, getting up onto the horse, into the saddle. This is what I was doing. After a week or two, I was finally able to do it. By the end of June, I was getting back up. And so in June, at the end, I was back in the saddle and I was doing the show in Montana. Here's a picture. Take a look at me right there. Now you see that long blonde hair and that blonde mustache? Oh, I hate to bust your bubble. That's a wig. And so was the mustache. All my hair, my facial hair was completely gone from all the chemotherapy I took. But I was in good enough condition from all my years of exercising to all I had to do was get back up into the saddle, and I rode the show that weekend. Got killed 4 times. But that's what you can do. That's what we're capable of if we want it bad enough. So, cancer and exercises. For all those of you who are out there fighting cancer now, I'm with you. I've been there. I know. Believe me, people who have never taken chemotherapy, there's no way that you can describe what chemotherapy feels like. The awful feeling that comes with it is simply a description beyond words, and anybody who's taken it now or has taken it, you know what I'm talking about. So hang in there, fight the good fight, and when you come out the other end of the tube, and I'm hoping that you will, then get fit, exercise, get your body back. You're not too old to ever start exercising, even if it's simply walking. So I want to encourage all my fellow boomers, don't give up the fight, no matter whether you're just starting it, in the middle of it, or coming out. Get healthy, get fit, come back here and see me. We'll both work our way through it, all right? Well, this episode, we're getting started with the good stuff. I'm going to teach you the first moves. We're going to learn about the warm-up moves in step aerobics. So, if you're ready, I'm ready too. Let's get started. Okay, fitness portion today. I'm going to cover a couple of things short, so I don't overtax your interest. One of the things that I have my own little concept of that I've developed over the years, and it has served me well as I get into my later years. And this is just my own little concept thing, and I call it this. It's my little triangle. See, it has flexibility, strength, and endurance. These are the 3 things that I have combined over the years to keep me in the shape that I'm in, to where I'm still very flexible, my strength is good, and my endurance, well, I can't run the 3 miles without stopping that I did when I was in my 40s. But as far as my cardio goes, for my age at 69, still not doing bad at all. I think the doctor told me that I'm running pretty much ahead of most guys my age. Doesn't mean that you can't get there though. So, one of the things that I do, do I exercise every day? No, of course not. Number one, you're not supposed to. You need to take breaks in your, especially if you're doing rigorous training. You need to take some time to let your body recover, get back to it. So one of the things I do though is in my everyday life, I've got my little thing that I call opportunities for exercise. What do I mean by that? Well, take a look at this. Here's one of those times when I say I have an opportunity to exercise. I can either go upstairs using that, or I can do this. There you go. They're out there everywhere. I have taken steps 2 at a time since I can remember. And I've heard people say to me about that, the taking steps 2 at a time, or my little trick I can still do. I can sit cross-legged on the floor and still stand up without using my arms. And I've had a lot of people I know look at me and say, oh, I can't do that anymore. Well, there's a reason that you can't do it anymore. You quit doing it. That's the key to it. Don't, if you're, still in your 40s, 50s, you're not a boomer yet, you're heading up that way. Now's the time to get into these little habits to keep yourself strong, to keep yourself moving. If you are boomer age, again, never too late to start. Just like I say at the beginning of all my videos though, before you get started on something you haven't done for a long time, see your doctor first. Believe me, it's worth the effort. So, you saw my little video of, I take my opportunity. Here's another thing that we do every day. When you sit down, take a look at this now. Okay, we're all sitting in our chair at home, doing our thing, whatever. It's time to get up, and we get up. Okay, did you see that? What did I use? I used my arms to help myself get up. Well, I just did 2 things. I cheated my legs, and I'm actually spreading out the effort over my body. Now, our legs and the attached rear accoutrements that go with it are one of the largest muscle groups in the human body. And as we get older, it's the legs that we're going to really be depending on to get us walking where we need to go. If we fall, we need them to get up. I mean, the reasons are endless. So here's something to think about and something to try. When you're sitting in your chair at home, next time you get up, don't cheat your legs. Don't use your arms to get up. Stand up. Keep your posture up too. You don't want to start getting into this habit as we get older. You may have to fight that all by itself just because of Mother Nature. But again, we're trying to delay all that kind of falling down as it goes. So when you're sitting down, you stand up, use your legs. We'll work on the arms. Okay, step aerobics. This is something that I came into in the mid-90s. Now I've been a runner and a jogger for most of my life. And running and jogging is great. It's excellent cardio. But in the mid-90s, I was going to a local health club and I started hearing all this music and yelling, and I went down and I kind of poked my head around the corner, and there's this room full of people and they're all on their step boards and they're all moving in unison and the music is cool, And after the class was over, I went in and talked to the instructor there and asked her, hey, blah, blah. And I asked her if this was for women only, and she says, absolutely not. And I think I was the first guy in her class for a while at least. And I knew a couple of other guys in the club, and then they ended up joining me too. So guys, this is for us too. Step aerobics, I discovered, is more than just running. It is a total all-body workout. You're working your shoulders, your arms, your muscles, even your abs and your obliques. We're working them standing up. You don't have to lay down and do push-ups, sit-ups, to work your abs. It's great in step aerobics too. So I fell in love with step aerobics a long time ago, and I've been doing them for 30 years, and it's a great workout. If you're a veteran of them, great, glad to have you with me, no matter what generation or age you are. If you're new and if you're a boomer, again, it's never too late. I'm going to be making sure you know that you're going to have choices at what level of exertion you want to put into these, and you can tailor it to exactly where you are. We'll get into that down the road. What I'm going to start you on real quick today, this is just something that you can start practicing before we actually get into our full step aerobic routine workouts. Next video, I'm going to be going through and teaching you the moves from the workout. Right now, we're just going to cover a few of the warm-up moves, and these are the ones that I thought, if you're new to it, then you can practice on these before you get started so you don't end up tripping over your feet. Yeah, I've done that. So anyway, I'm going to start off, get back here a little bit. And of course, one of the obvious ones we're going to do is it's simply march in place. And you'll hear me say, march in place. And it's just simply marching, just like you see. Now, the next phase out from that is march it wide, is the call that I give out to it. And that'll be just like this. My feet are out wider. And now I'm going to be marching like this. You notice I've got a little twist going in my trunk. Knees are pointed outward a little bit. This is your marching wide. So if we were to put those two together, it'd be march in place. Here we go. And then march it wide. And we go out. March it in. There we go. Simple enough. And by the way, these warm-up moves that I'm showing you right now, you don't need your step board for them. These are done on the floor. So you can get practice, get a head start on it. Another one is going to be the V-step, and it sounds just like it is. I'll say V-step right, and so I'll start off on my right foot. I'll say V-step right, and you go here. You're going to make a V with your feet. See, up here, and then back. Now you're going to find that most step aerobic moves are in a count of 4. So I'll do a right V-step. 1, 2, 3, 4. I formed that V with my feet. And so there you go. You've got it. The V-step. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now watch me change. Left V. See, I went back to the left. So these are the things you want to start thinking about. What step aerobics is, the process is going to be. It's going to be like learning dancing again, kind of like ballroom dancing. Your mind has to get used to what you want to do. Your body has to learn to understand the commands coming from your brain, and you just have to learn to get the two into sync. That's what it's all about, and you just have to do it a few times. It comes pretty easily. Now, this one here, if you have balance problems, be careful on this one, okay? If your balance is okay, this is how it's called. It's called the grapevine step. And so we'd be marching whatever, and I'd say, okay, grapevine. And then what the grapevine is I go over with my left foot, my right foot comes behind me, and my left comes back. Now we're going to go back, and it's going to be right, left behind. There you go. So watch me doing the grapevine. Grapevine is just like this. See how that works? Like I said, kind of like a dance step. So that's your grapevine. Okay. Now another one we have is going to be the reaches, and I'll try to get back. I'll try to keep all of me in the picture here. The reach is where you're going to have your feet apart. When you come up, you're actually going to reach with your right arm to the left, and with your left arm to the right. You're going to be stretching some side muscles, and also you want to come up on your toe on that side. So if I'm going to reach this way, if you look there, my right heel is off the ground, okay? So if you look and see the whole thing, it goes like this, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your reach step. We will mix that in. So how do we go about doing that? I'll tell you what, I'll show you an example. We'll go from a grapevine to a reach. So I'll say grapevine and reach step. 1, 2, 3. See how that went? You'll get used to it. All you have to do is just stick with it and try it out. Now there will be other ones out there. The step touch. Also, for those of you, I mean, you're going to be seeing this potentially across the country. You're going to have instructors calling what moves I'm doing different names. It's no different than somebody in Michigan, that says, "How are you doing?" and somebody in Alabama going, "How y'all doing?" So my names for the moves may be a little different than what you're used to, but this is hey, it's my classroom, this is what we got. So, this one is called the side step. Just like you see it, back and forth, stepping to the side. So, mixing this with another one, I could be doing march it wide, and then I'd say side step. And there you go. Really that simple. There will be others when we actually get in and do the class. But again, they're not complicated. There's, little back curls and stretches, deep breathing, little things that should present no problem to you whatsoever. So these are a few of the warm-up moves, and we'll be doing those before the main workout. Next video, come on back. I'm going to start teaching you the actual moves we're going to be doing on the board. So in the meantime, look for those opportunities to exercise, keep yourself moving, and stay fit, stay happy, stay healthy. Boomers, I'm rooting for you. Everybody else rooting for you too. We want to make sure that you're going to be in shape by the time you get up to our age, okay? So in the meantime, I'm going to turn you over to Mann. He's got a pretty interesting, cool thing on boomer history and culture, although we never thought that this topic was actually boomer history. But it's not the same as it used to be. See you next time. Hey, boomers, man. Man, back. I'm back. Hey, today, whatever it is, I don't know. I haven't been out in a while. I'm going to be talking to all my fellow boomers out there about a thing that was near and dear to all of us. It was like a rite of passage, things like that. And I'm talking to you about the drive-in theater, man. Now, the drive-in theater, it's been an adventure for more than one generation. Now with us, actually, the first drive-in opened in the United States back in 1933, way back. I mean, that was even before the repression, the decent, whatever it was back there, man. Times were tough. But they had the drive-in theaters back then. And then they really came into being in the 1950s. And families went, and they showed all the great movies in there. Now, time went on, and by the 1960s and the 70s, things started kind of changing, and the drive-ins started showing, B movies, they called them, kind of backlot, lower rated. All the big movies that were going on in the walk-in theaters, they didn't make their way into the drive-ins too much. But drive-ins, the one that I went to, my favorite growing up here in southwestern Ohio, man, and that was the Dixie Cruise In. Anybody out there in southwestern Ohio, man, I know if you're a boomer, you remember the Dixie if you've ever been there, man. Now, you could come in, and they had a big playground in the front, so people could bring their yard apes and rugrats and stuff, and they could turn them loose and let them play out there until it got dark and the movie started. And it was really cool, and they had all the really cool movies. Now, you guys remember Night of the Living Dead? All those zombie movies, and everything. Zombies. I was a kid, and my dad, I think this is the only time he took me to the drive-in, and I can understand why. And I first watched Night of the Living Dead at the Dixie. Now, if you watch that movie, then you see that they're talking to the sheriff and they're hunting down all these zombie critters and whatever, and the sheriff is going on, and there at the bottom of the screen, it says Butler County. I lived in Butler County, and I start freaking out. And so by the time it was over, and of course for all the people in the movie that were locked up in that house, didn't turn out too well for them. And we're driving home, man, and I'm down and I'm looking, peeking out the window and everything. And I went to bed that night wearing my sneakers, because when those things came in my window, man, I was going to run. Anyway, the drive-ins were great. You had between the movies, they always showed a double feature. And they had the famous song that all of us boomers are familiar with. Let's all go to the snack bar. Hey, check it out. Here's a little piece of it.
Yes, sir. The hot dogs at our concession stand do rate an appreciative whistle.
We were watching all the French fries and the Cokes and everything dance across the street. And they would a lot of times have a countdown. You know, you'd have to leave your car and go to the snack bar. And they'd have a countdown, and it looked like this. Yeah, see, the number there shows you how many minutes you got left to get back to your car before the movie starts. And so they helped you out there. Now, I want to give a shout out to a TV hero of mine. And this is a man who has long campaigned for the longevity. Is that the right word?
Yeah, man, that's right.
Oh, thanks, man. Longevity of drive-in theaters, and that is Joe Bob Briggs. Hey, Joe Bob. I know you're still out there, man. Joe Bob hosted a show started in the 1980s called Joe Bob Briggs at the Drive-In. And he would always campaign, and he would tell people in whatever city and town he was talking about, hey, your drive-in, you know, they're getting ready to close. You guys need to go out there and help them out. And so he was always trying to help the drive-ins out survive. And, you know, they went way down, and they got dwindling and dwindling. And now all you younger kids, man, I don't know if you go to the drive-ins or not, but here's the good news. Drive-ins are coming back. And you know what we have to thank for that? COVID. Yeah, COVID came back and nobody wanted to go inside the walk-in theaters, man. And so they started going back to the drive-ins. Now, I read this cool story about this couple that they met, and they ended up buying an old drive-in. And anyway, I'll put a link to that article about them, how they bought this new drive-in and it's coming back. I'll put a link in the description of this video for you too. And a couple of other links on drive-ins on the lists and everything too. So yeah, and you know one thing though, if you're not a boomer, you're gonna miss out on this one. Nowadays, when you go in, they tell you what frequency on your radio to turn to, and the movie sound is broadcast right inside your car on the radio. Well, before, we didn't have that, man. We had drive-in speakers. And if you listen to Cheech and Chong, man, in that one song, Cruising with Pedro de Pacquiao, man, and they go to the drive-in, they smuggle a dude in the trunk, and they forget all about him. Anyway, you hear the guy that says, hey, man, let's go. And so you hear the guy on the speaker going, please leave by the exit and don't forget the stickers. Well, you know what happened to us once in a while, man, is if you would be too distracted, maybe if you had somebody special with you, or if maybe you were too, I don't know, drunk or stoned or whatever you are watching the movie, you know. Anyway, you can see there, that's what the speakers used to look like. You'd pull them in and that little arm would hang on your window and you could crank it up if it was cold or if you had, you know, air conditioning in your car. And you'd turn on the sound and listen to the movie on the speaker. Well, sometimes people would say, hey, all right, let's go. And they drive off and they forget the speaker. Oh, yeah, man, busted windows. So I guess you younger generations, well, maybe it wasn't funny when it happened to your car. It's funny when it happened to somebody else. Anyway, man, drive-ins. All you younger cats, you got to check it out. Just do it just one time, man. The drive-in movie is great. You can bring your friends. You can even bring your own snacks if you want to, man. They're not going to say anything. But they got fresh popcorn, hot dogs, whatever else out there, you know. So check it out, man. Drive-ins, boomers. You're not too old to go back to them, you know. All you young cats, get going. Well, drive-ins, that's what we got today on Boomer 101. See you next time.
All right, thanks, man. Yeah, the drive-ins were and are great. I think the younger generations, you boomers know this, drive-ins aren't what they used to be, but they're still there and they're still cool. Up in Western New York, where one of my daughters lives, they've still got a 4-screen drive-in going up there. It's on Transit. I can't remember the name of it, but it's just south of Lockport, New York. 4 screens, no waiting, different movies. Anyway, hope you had a good one on this episode, learning a little bit. Get on those step warm-up moves. War's coming down the pipe. And in the meantime, we'll see you next time. And remember what Brother Red Green said, from me to all you boomers, remember, I'm pulling for you. We're all in this together.
Welcome to the strangest party, baby. It's like we're staring at the sun. Everybody's got the invitations, hoping that you're gonna come.